row 8, Stefan Johansson, fellow Swede Fredrik Ekblom, and Jeff Krosnoff. On row 9, Hiro Matsushita, Juan Fangio II for Dan Gurney's All-American Racers, and Gary Bettenhausen racing for brother Tony in the Alumax Penske with Mercedes-Benz power. Now the cars begin to form the 3 wide rows. Each man certainly sobered by the experience of that crash, perhaps a little wiser. It'll be interesting to see who makes adjustments for the restart. Toyota pace car has pulled away. The field is under the control of Jimmy Vasser, and there's a lot of spacing there between the first couple of rows. Brian Herta dropping well back. We'll see if Jim Swintal gives them the green flag this time around. He does, and Jimmy Vasser will have a huge lead as the US 500 gets underway. His teammate Alex Zanardi slots into the second spot as they power into turn 1 for the first time.
Well, Jimmy certainly didn't want anything to do with competitors being beside him in the beginning of that event. You can certainly see he was on the gas in turns 3 and 4, and he's got about a quarter distance down the back straight lead right now.
An act of courage for all of these drivers. After frantic repairs to these cars, they're out there with the power down. Brian Herta is dropping back through the field as you watch Vasser in the bright red Target Ganassi Racing Reynard Honda with Firestone tires launching himself around.
Well, certainly Brian might have had a few changes on his car. Obviously, I'm not quite sure if he's in a spare car, but for sure he wants to feel the car out. Maybe there's something going on there that he's not quite comfortable with right now, because he's certainly not on the gas like his other colleagues.
We get a look at Al Unser Jr. presently running in 3rd position behind the teammates Vasser and Zanardi. Unser Jr. an average speed of 189 miles an hour back in the early 90s, winning the fastest 500-mile race of all time. And there's the man he battled to the line in last year's Marlboro 500. Recall that race. Al Unser Jr. passed Pruitt going on to the white flag lap. Pruitt came around in turns 3 and 4 to take the second closest IndyCar finish of all time and first victory for Firestone tires in a 500-mile race.
Some great side-by-side racing here. Michael's car is working real well. You can see him go high or low anywhere he wants. And Pruitt's blown an engine very early on. It's only a few laps into the event, and I'm sure that's an engine that's let go.
And it was just as he passed the pit in. He's got it down low off the racing line. We have a yellow flag all the way around the racetrack. As you see Scott Pruitt rolling to a stop with that Ford XD engine expired. We'll pull on to the pit exit. And that's a big disappointment for the last man to win a 500-mile race here at Michigan.
Scott was also the fastest man in warm-up yesterday, running at 232 miles an hour, so he had a great opportunity to win here today.
James Allen is with his car owner, Pat Patrick.
Actually with Jim McGee, in fact, Bob. Jim, what's the story with Scott? Looked like a blown engine.
Yeah, he said the car was fine and everything just bang. You know, so tough day because we had a great car, you know, with Firestones, and you know, everything was going our way, and we got through the wreck all right, but it just seems that sometimes fate deals you in funny ways, so it's a tough deal.
Jim McGee, the calmest man in IndyCar racing, always says, I never let anything spoil my day. Back to you, boys.
And that perhaps helps explain as you watch Scott Pruitt making the long walk back to his pits. Jim McGee, the most effective team manager of all time in IndyCar racing, with more than 80 individual victories. Now, there you see the newest rule in IndyCar going into effect. The pits are closed while the cars queue up behind the safety vehicle. And when they are open, first the lead lap cars, of course that includes just about everybody, will come on in. And then everyone will go back out, and we'll get the race back underway. As you see the crews working on Scott Pruitt's car. Looks like that engine pretty comprehensively detonated.
Very early on, and that really makes you wonder about longevity sometimes of the equipment, and it's a 500-mile event like we talked about. You have to be there at the end. You have to go 450 miles to get ready to go racing for the last 50 miles itself.
The pits are now open. There you see the plus sign. Normally, deep into the race, when we have lapped cars out there, that would mean that the lead lapped cars only could now head for the pits. One lap later, the lapped cars would be allowed in, and we would have a double file restart. But at this point, obviously, so early in this race with just 4 laps complete, everyone will be able to pit this time around. Taking a look at the stream of cars, no one taking advantage of the opportunity, which I guess says something about the repairs that these mechanics all made to the cars. No one coming in to have anything looked at.
No, and that's great. The drivers are going to have a lot of confidence with that for sure. The cars put together very quickly, as we talked about a little bit earlier in the show. Quick couple of notes here. I see that Rahal, who started 15th, is all the way up to 7th already. And Robbie Gordon in the Valvoline car, who started back in 21st, is all the way up to about 9th. So these guys are really moving up quite quickly, and maybe the experience is paying off here to get through the field in the first couple of laps.
You saw the top 5. Paul Tracy runs 6th, Bobby Rahal 7th, Brian Herta 8th, Robbie Gordon 9th, Andre Ribeiro 10th, followed by Gilles de Ferran and Raul Pueso. And here's a replay of the blown engine for Scott Pruett.
Oh, yeah. Just sound, the engine's getting tight. You can hear it just before you see the puff of smoke, and Michael got a good run on going into turn 3, so the motor was probably starting to slow up on him just a little bit at that point in time. It all happens so very, very quickly at 230 miles an hour.
Watch the car to your right of your screen. The plume of smoke says it all. Scott Pruett's race was run virtually before it began. And there is Scott, who spent a full year testing Firestone tires before getting back into active competition with Pat Patrick's team. There you see the field summary through 15 positions after 4 laps. Quickly, let's hear from Jan Bikus.
Just a quick update on Scott Goodyear's car, of course, the one he would be driving, and that's Frederick Ekblom. He is out there at the moment in the other Valvoline car. In fact, Robbie Gordon's spare car. So if you see 2 Valvoline cars out there identically painted, make sure you check for the helmet and for the number 15 as opposed to the 5. He did not have his spare ready, so he hopped into Robbie's. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Thanks, Jan. Brian Herta's problem may be in the boost, but the team can't really figure it out because they're having radio communication problems with Brian. So they're still looking at all the data, trying to figure out. But right now, he's running in 8th, guys.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. Adrian Fernandez's car has been pulled back from the pit lane. I'm not sure if we'll see Adrian back in competition or not. Meanwhile, up front, there is Jimmy Vasser, Alex Zanardi just behind him, then Al Unser Jr., Emerson Fittipaldi runs 4th, and Michael Andretti in 5th. There is Adrian Fernandez. It appears that his race will not happen today either. Now, under the new pit lane regulations that have been confirmed for this race only on an experimental basis, afterward the IndyCar board and technical committees will review to see if they want to use them at other events. There is no passing until we reach the start-finish line, and the race leader will bring the field down. Here comes Jimmy Vasser. Now there's Michael Andretti, I believe, getting down low under Emerson Fittipaldi.
Got a great toe on him going into turn 1 and a good run. If he can pick up a draft from the car just in front of him, which is Al Unser Jr., he'll get a good run going on down to turn 3. Michael being very aggressive, wants to get up to the front right away and not let those Honda-powered cars get too far ahead of him.
Goes underneath Al Unser Jr. 2 men have been racing each other for a long time. 2 of the elder statesmen, if that's possible to believe, in IndyCar racing. Unser Jr. in his 15th season. Paul Tracy having a look under Bobby Rahal as they come up on Emerson Fittipaldi.
Some great side-by-side action here at 230 miles an hour. All these guys trusting each other very, very much. And there again, as we talked about, keeping in front of the guys that they really want to make sure that they're going to get a good draft going into the turn. These guys have been sitting around for about an hour, and they certainly want to get up to speed quite quickly and not let those leaders get away.
Another look there on the left of your screen. Andretti and Unser running together, tied for the lead among active drivers in all-time IndyCar victories with 31. There's Paul Tracy on the left, on the right, Brian Herta. This track lends itself to such incredible speed. We saw practice speeds of 235 miles an hour or more. And of course, that means they're going even faster on the backstretch. Tremendous stress applied to both the cars and the drivers when they're up on the banking like this.
Oh, certainly. The cars are at maximum G's, probably just over 4 G's in total, getting through the bowl, the turn, as we call it, right there in the center of turns 3 and 4. We see there on the D-part shape of the oval right now, going past the start and finish line into turn 1 and 2. And it looks like Al Jr. and Michael Andretti are in for a long day of battling side by side. These guys are running very close to each other.
Al Unser Jr. second in points. Michael Andretti 6th coming into this round of the championship. Once again, Andretti goes low.
Michael likes that low line. If I can recall, Mario did too when Mario was running. Al Jr. I competed against him many times also here, and also runs a little bit of a higher line. The two cars are so even, as you can see. They each get a draft from each other down one end of the straight, going into the turn 1 area. And it seems like Michael's right back down to that yellow line again. The car's working very well for him down low.
And this is what the drivers say they like best about Michigan. You can ride side by side, and we have a yellow flag. Problems on the number 15 car. That is Frederick Ekblom in Robbie Gordon's backup machine for Derek Walker Racing. The pits are closed now. The rule is in effect. The pits are closed. And until they are open, the drivers will queue up behind the safety car. Jan Beekes is with Scott Pruitt.
Scott, you've made your way now back to the pits. Would you ever have thought, coming into the US 500, that it would have started like this? First an accident and an engine going right away.
Well, not for us. You know, we've been having a lot of problems with the engines lately. We lost 3 qualifying weekend. You know, it's I'm not sure, you know, what's going on with them. We seem to have a lot of difficulties right now. Ford's really trying to catch up to the Honda and to the Mercedes. It's just disappointing. I mean, everybody at Patrick and Firestone, you know, we worked so hard. The car's been running so good. Even out there, I mean, we were just, you know, marching up forward, and everything was going great, and unfortunately the engine let loose at 3 laps. So
now, normally at the start of a race, you run a higher gear, so you don't spin it so high, so it doesn't seem to be revs that's killing it?
No, I mean, I had it in 6th gear right away. I was breathing at both ends. I mean, I was just getting into cruise mode, and, you know, just doing time, getting the miles under my belt, waiting for the end.
Well, Scott Pruitt is now, unfortunately, just a spectator today. Thanks, Scott.
And with it went Scott Pruitt's shot at $1 million and the Vanderbilt Cup. There's the running order. Jimmy Vasser leads teammate Alex Zanardi. We'll be back for more Live from Michigan.
You've never been to Crazy Autos. Crazy Autos is the best breakfast house in the valley. It's known for the biggest omelets.
Great food, great prices, great service.
Our cooks are crazy, our waitresses are crazy, our hostesses are crazy, our food portions are crazy.
And then just eat the great, huge helpings that they always give you to eat.
Everybody has a good time.
They have nice waitresses.
Breakfast, lunch.
We at Crazy Autos think bigger is better.
A lot of food.
20th Street West and Avenue K. Look for the Big Eat sign. 1228 West Avenue I. Come on in.
An MPG Buyer's Bulletin. Demand for high-mileage vehicles soaring.
But Rally keeps you running. Rally is your pump passing.
Any pension.
People pleasing.
MPG Economy King.
At all 3 locations.
All 5 franchises.
And it starts with Geo Metro, up to 50 miles per gallon highway.
Always immediate delivery.
Always on-the-spot financing.
And Rally pays off your trade no matter what you owe.
And with every new Rally car, truck, and van sold.
The first full tank, it's on us.
At Rally, the MPG King.
In Palmdale and Lancaster.
The world's biggest stars. In the world's most popular sport. Come to play in your backyard. It's the birth of a new league. MLS on ESPN.
DC United versus New York's New Jersey Metro Stars. Thursday at 7:30.
The whole world is watching.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane...
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice, though. Maybe you'd better leave the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Here's a look at our running order after 12 of 250 scheduled laps. Vasser and Zanardi out front. Michael Andretti in third, followed by Al Unser Jr., Emerson Fittipaldi. There you see the rest of the running order. Jan Beekes has something for us from the pits.
We just had an opportunity to talk with Derek Walker, and Frederick Ekblom's car was the same situation as Scott Pruitt. The Ford power plant just let go. That was a fresh engine. Derek said it wasn't one that was used that was in the spare car. Obviously, Derek Walker and the Valvoline team now obviously be very concerned for Robbie Gordon, as that was his spare car. He has the same engine.
Thanks very much, Jan. Now you see the cars coming back up to speed as we await the green flag. The pace car is off. Jimmy Vasser leads his teammate Alex Zanardi. Green flag, and we are back underway, working lap number 13. Check that, lap number 15. And once again, Michael Andretti is down low.
Michael always gets a good start. It looks like he got a good run off the turn 4 restart again, and here he goes, and I think he's slipping underneath Zanardi right now. What a drive. He started back in about the 3rd or fourth row right beside his teammate Christian Fittipaldi, and you can see the Honda Power